week. And so it is not an easy thing to pick up and go, put your life on hold, try to negotiate all of what you need to do with your family commitments here, not to mention this whole undertaking at the time. I do remember that a family member or friend came to stay with Devin, and I believe that I never met the woman, but I believe her name was Hester, and she took great care of him, kept him away from the stove, provided him with plenty of food, and took good care of him, had him packed and ready to go each day, and he did fine, and his mother didn't have to worry. I think that was a help at the time. She didn't have to worry. She knew that he was well cared for at home, he was happy in school, he was doing all right. And so I think maybe in those things, having to juggle those three huge things at one time, the construction, the school, and the sadness at home and the feeling of loss that was imminent, was a very, very challenging thing to master, but she mastered it very, very well. And there's a saying that it comes from my part of the world, that a great deal of what you see depends on what you're looking for. And in Frederica's eyes at the time, she had the eyes of a businesswoman to carry on with the undertaking here. She had the eyes of a devoted parent to look after her son. And she had the eyes of a loving daughter to look after and do what she could for her mother and her family. And all of those things were accomplished, and all of those things were accomplished beautifully. And to be here today to see the naming of this beautiful building and to be part of this glorious celebration is a distinct honor for me. I offer my sincerest congratulations, Frederica, to you and to Devin, and wish you all every success, and God bless all the good work that continues here. And thank you all very much. Thank you, Devin.
Thank you so much, Ms. Concannon. We are thankful for teachers like you who are able to reach beyond the classrooms and are able to enlighten and inspire our youth and our future leaders. I would now like to introduce Ms. Stephanie Thomas, a good friend who has been there for Ms. Williams. She is also the president of the Whittier Development's Tenant Task Force. Please clap your hands for Ms. Stephanie Thomas.
Woo! Wow, 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 wow. Woo! First, I like to say this to everybody. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful day.
Yes.
A lot of us could make it, but a lot of us didn't wake up this morning to come out here to show respect and tribute to you, Frederica. I'd like to thank God for waking us all up this morning. All up this morning. He brought you all out to go to your jobs, to make your money, to come back home safe. I ask God to continue on blessing all of you. We still got a long road ahead of us. All our single moms, and I'm one. I know it's not easy. But I can always tell all you mothers out there, when you take one step, God will take two. We're never alone. We're never alone. I just standing up here, I'm honored, Frederica. I'm very speechless. I had no idea this was going to happen. You see, God knows before we know who's going to be present here today. He knows your hearts. He knows your minds. He knows what you're thinking. He knows. He knows. He knows. This place here is so full of love and warmth. It's all combined with a lot of different nationalities. Everybody in Whittier here that comes from the community, that come from the residents, everybody is always welcome to step into this is God's house, because God said this. He said, when you come in here, I will feed you. And sure enough, you do feed them. When you come in here, when you're cold and you ain't got no warm coat to put on your bed, you do that. You take care of people that need warmth. Come on now. Listen. 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 Listen to me. Listen. We're blessed. We are blessed. If we look back and think about all the storms, the floods in California, burnt all up. Those were the rich folks with it. But look, God got tired and he destroyed it. Let me tell you all something right now. Be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful. Materialistic things don't mean a thing. You keep God in your heart. Keep him in your heart. Long as you keep him in your heart, you'll never, never be alone. And Frederica, I want to say this to you, my dear. I want to say this to you. I got the fire in me, but I have to speak what I feel. You're a beautiful woman. When I look at you, I see a glow over you, which means that when you look over your life, you see how God works. Okay, your children, the families, all of you are truly, truly blessed to have a beautiful woman like her. She's more than a mother. She's like a friend. She's like a sister. To all of us out there, she's our parent too, you know. When the young teenagers and the young kids come here and they need social services or need places to live or they need this, they need that, they need this, they need that, she never turns them down. She got a beautiful staff, a beautiful staff. She got Crystal. Amen. She's part of her empire. She got Makia. Makia's part of her empire. Yeah, the Lord is out here. Part of her empire. So before I leave here, I just want to let you all thank you for listening to me. Because my name is Stephanie Thomas, and one thing about me, I speak from my heart. Thank you.
What a blessing. God bless you. I got a spot for worship leader on Sunday. Yeah, I've been Baptist a long time. I know how to sit them down. I thought I was going to have to get up, but she closed that baby down nice, didn't she? She brought it on home, so you got a spot with me at any time. Amen. And you know, for the Tenant Development, Tenant Task Force, we thank God for you and for what you do, because without you and the people that you represent and the input, we wouldn't make the differences that we've been able to make here. And we thank God for your service. Come on, let's clap our hands. At this time, we have the Honorable Senator Sonia Chang Diaz. Is she here? She's going to come. Come on, clap your hands as she comes. You want me to hold the baby, or you going to do double duty? You're going to do like Frederica? Come on, and are you going to say a word? Come on, clap your hands.
Good evening, everybody. And good evening, Ms. Frederica, most of all. You guys can see I'm on a short leash tonight, but I couldn't miss this opportunity, even if it meant making a pit stop between daycare pickup and school pickup to come and celebrate this occasion with the greater Roxbury community. Frederica, you have given so much to this community that I have the privilege and honor of representing in the state senate, and so it really feels like part of my job, but I do it with a joyful heart to come and thank you for all of the years of love and sweat and stress and love that you have put into this community, and building up this physical building, but also the human infrastructure that has gone into it and that has gone out from it. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, is Mr. Bob Mahoney here, president of Belmont Savings Bank?
So I'd like someone to explain how I got to follow the mom with the baby, Stephanie Thomas. I mean, that ain't fair. It's just not fair. I mean, I know Baptist, but I'm not one. Always wanted to be. So it's a great pleasure to be here celebrating with Frederica in this wonderful building that she really made happen. I've heard her described as a few things already. I've heard her described as a compassionate daughter, as a loving mom, as a sister, as a leader, as an amazingly energetic and tireless executive. I know Frederica as a salesperson. Tireless would be a nice way of putting it. Vicious is more like what I've experienced. You heard Paul Park referred to earlier at the roast, which was the big fundraiser every year. About 12 years ago, I met Frederica at some event, and a couple weeks later, she called me, and she said, "Bob, we'd like to honor you at a dinner. And would you mind being the honoree at this dinner?" The word roast never came up, never mentioned. It was not until I got on the podium that I realized those other 4 people there were going to beat the hell out of me and say bad things about me in front of my family and friends. And then Frederica was going to be nice enough to get up and announce my $50,000 present to the Whittier Street, which I had not heard of either beforehand. So this is the woman that you're all so proud of. I fear the hell out of her. I mean, I have never walked out of her office with all the money I walked in with. It's just the way it is with Frederica. It's the old line, any budget is, we can work with any budget as long as money is no object. Well, that's Frederica. So, but here we are in the house that she built, and it's a different place for health than a lot of other places. It's a very different place for health. I happen to live in the shadow of Newton Wellesley Hospital, which is a great place for health. It ain't Whittier. It's not people who greet you by your name as the front door. It's not signs on the elevator about the family dinner. Believe me, there's no family dinner this week at Newton Wellesley Hospital. It's just the whole atmosphere of the place, the caring, the fact that 1/3 of the people don't have insurance and nobody cares. They get the service no matter what it is. And to have that kind of capability, that kind of expertise, that kind of caring and thoughtful health care within a walk of your home, so close, in your neighborhood, with people who actually care about you, it's a huge blessing. And that blessing would not have happened without this lady, my salesperson friend, to make it happen. So it's all of those things that you described, but it's more. It's a great big heart that thinks about this place 24 hours a day. And it doesn't just happen. It's got to be led by somebody like Frederica. And so as we approach this wonderful holiday of Thanksgiving, we have one more thing to be really thankful for. It's the Whittier Street, the Frederica Williams building. Frederica Williams.
Thank you so much. He is the president and CEO of Belmont Savings Bank. He's been there every step of the way. He's had a long history of supporting Whittier's strategic plans, and Frederica counts on Bob as a friend, a mentor, a guide, and she truly values his deep commitment, and he is absolutely telling the truth when it comes to Frederica and her fundraising capabilities. Amen. Thank you so much, Bob, for your support. At this time, I would now like to introduce one of my fellow board members, Miss Eva Clark. And at this time, do we have all the other board members here? Are we going to be able to put them up? We are going to put them up now? Great. If you can, they were just there. Well, I want you to know that Miss Eva Clark, come and stand with me, please. She is a very knowledgeable, passionate board member and a long-term Whittier patient. And I'm going to let her tell her own story. But she and I were she's really one of the instrumental persons in saying, you know what, we should name this building for Frederica. And I said, you know what, we should do that. So we have a unanimous decision of the board, and Miss Eva Clark's going to give you a background and introduce Miss Frederica Williams for us today. Clap your hands as she goes.
First of all, greetings to all of our celebrants, and especially warm welcome to our family and friends from across the pond.
Yay.
We thank each of you for joining us on this auspicious occasion, the naming and dedication of the Whittier Street Health Center building. Frederica Matilda Virginia Williams, CEO and president of Whittier Street since 2002, moved the center to its present location in 2012. this almost 80,000 square feet, 100% environmentally green, state-of-the-art equipped building cost $37 million to build, and now boasts an estimated value of $60 million.
Come on.
What did it take? What did it take for Frederica to build her dream? A lot of blood, sweat, tears, toil, and love. What began as a vision developed into a plan, a project which would take 10 years to complete. Years of complex negotiation, weeks, months, years of meetings with groups and individuals would take place as the vision manifested itself into a concrete oasis of healing. Throughout the years, while leading significant growth at the health center, Ms. Williams was often immersed in negotiation and strategizing with hospital partners, the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and Brigham and Women's Hospital. She also arranged a lease buyout with Northeastern University. She engaged in bargaining with the late mayor of the city of Boston, Thomas Menino, all on behalf of her patient-centered vision. She raised private as well as stimulus funding and secured tax credits and lease buyouts. Ms. Williams worked tirelessly with the architectural team of Fernando Dominic and maintained oversight of the building's contractors. Ms. Frederica helped put the finishing touches on the building's decor, selecting furniture, furnishings, and art for the center's walls, creating a warm, inviting environment for the patients. The road to completion of the project was on several occasions fraught with serious problems. 6 weeks before the completion of the project, all 5 floors of the building were flooded and suffered severe water damage, requiring extensive repairs. Despite the disruptions, Ms. Williams forged ahead. The building was completed within 14 months and $640,000 under budget. 6 months after the center opened, the building suffered another setback when an MBTA bus plowed into the front of its building. Undeterred, Ms. Williams made sure that the repairs were carried on and carried out quickly without disruption to patient services. Today, Whittier Street Health Center is flourishing under Ms. Williams'